Welcome back to the Sports Beat. This is Dexter Henry on BEN, where jobs come first. And I'm joined here with my man Brandon Robinson to talk a little bit of things going on in the sports world. You might have seen our other video where we talked about Isaiah Thomas and the piece he wrote. Brandon has wrote for a bunch of places. He's a sports TV personality. He's wrote for Vibe, Jet, Ebony. He's been on Pix 11. Tons of different places. Just a great writer. Thanks for being here, man. How's everything going?
Good, brother. I'm good. You all right?
I'm good, man. I can't complain. You know who's not doing good?
I heard something on the street. You tell me.
Tom Brady. He's got this whole Deflategate situation going on. When this came back out late January, early February, you heard about Deflategate, the balls being under-deflated. What were your thoughts with that?
It was like, didn't he just win a Super Bowl? Wasn't he gonna win a Super Bowl?
Right before. He was right about to win a Super Bowl.
It's just like, you look at Tom Brady, you look at him as this all-American boy. He wears Uggs. I was gonna say lugs. He wears Uggs. He's married to Giselle. He's got the charmed life, and I'm not hating. But to hear that, this was coming out again and people were still talking about it, it was like, well, give it a rest. It can't be true. But apparently, just like the Mitchell report, somebody's got it in for Tom Brady as well. And, the NFL cracked down on him and gave him that four-game ban. It's not been a good week for former or current New England Patriot players.
No, definitely has not. So the 4-game ban that Brandon talks about comes down this week after the Wells report was released last week, which said that basically Tom Brady probably had knowledge of what was going on with the deflation of the balls. Probably had knowledge. Is that good enough to suspend somebody? Probably.
That's like you heard a rumor on the street that your cousin baby mama's best friend told you. That's just like, what? He probably, did you see it? Did you're going by, you're hearing a lot about the trainers and you're hearing about the text messages and you're hearing, I'll tell you one thing, Tom Brady is very calm. He's been calm. He was with Jim Gray over the weekend at an event in Salem, Massachusetts, and talking about he'll just see what happens. I think he already knew, but I think bigger than just the part about the suspension, I think that the NFL commissioner, Roger Goodell, had to get it right this time. Obviously from the domestic violence with Ray Rice and some of the other players, and the way that he's kind of been slow to judgment. I think that on his onus, he had to kind of play to the public opinion and had to give a 4-game suspension because he was slow to do it before.
So I'm going to stop you right there for a second.
Sure.
But if we look at that, I agree with you that he might have probably played it off to the public opinion here. 2 games for Ray Rice after they said they didn't see the video of Ray Rice hitting his fiance at the time. Tom Brady, maybe not, might have just deflated some balls. How do you give a guy that maybe or maybe not deflated some balls 4 games, but you give Ray Rice 2? Can you explain that for Roger?
Well, if you talk about the giving Ray Rice too, He did that at first. But again, going back to public opinion, when the video came out, you saw how he dropped the hammer down. And I think with the public opinion, okay, they won a Super Bowl. He was, great at what he did. And then you keep hearing it. It keeps coming out. And then the report comes out. It's like, well, Goodell, what are you going to do? I know he's this American boy. He looks good. Like, when are you going to drop the hammer? And I think it's kind of like, one of those things like when you graduate college, your mom tells you, when are you going to get a job? It's just like that with Tom Brady. When are you going to suspend him? When are you going to find him? And I think he, like I said, I'm sustaining to the point. I think he had to do something.
But is this fair? Is this fair for Tom Brady? I think most people might look at it in public opinion and say, yeah, we think Tom Brady did something, but if you look by the letter of evidence, there really isn't a lot there. So is that fair or not?
In the words of my favorite rapper, Jay-Z,
okay,
guilty until proven innocent, huh? Right. That's how we playing it?
Right.
He has the ability to appeal it. Mm-hmm. Do I think it's right without seeing it? No.
Okay.
Do I think that he had to do something to play the part? At the end of the day, somebody's got to always be the fall guy. And unfortunately, in this case, Tom Brady was the fall guy because this thing will not go away. And I think for the commissioner, this gives him some time to kind of cool off. It's getting a little warmer outside. And get that icy from the corner store and sit back and wait for this appeal process to go on. It's going to go on and on and on and on and for a while. But I think as for right now, yes, Tom Brady is going to be the fall guy in this one. And we'll have to see what happens. His agent is not happy, and I'm sure his lawyer is going to come out swinging.
You hear that from Brandon. His agent was not happy. His agent, Don Yee, today said that they definitely will fight the suspension. They will appeal it. Appeals process. Does Tom Brady have a case here? I believe he really does. I think he's got a strong case here. Do you think he can win? And if he wins, can all 4 games get dropped? Because let's talk about what's real here. Tom Brady's losing almost $2 million if he doesn't play those 4 games.
I mean, I think history has shown that certain folks will be able to appeal and get something happen. If you look at one of Brady's former teammates, now a member of the Denver Broncos, and a wide receiver, Wes Welker, he was able to reduce his suspension with the PED scandal. And then at the same time, you also had a certain wide receiver on the Cleveland Browns. Mm-hmm. You saw what his character eventually was, because he got in trouble again after doing the same thing. So I think history does have a way of showing that folks who do appeal a certain suspension are able to reduce it. I think Tom Brady's a little smarter than to repeat to deflate some more balls again. But I think at the same time, I think he does have padding. You know, you're going into OTAs now. The draft is over. I think he has time. He can still practice with the team and get his rhythm together. I mean, it's Tom Brady. He's surgical in his performance on the field. But I think he does have time to appeal it. Will he appeal it? Yes. Can he appeal it and reduce it? Yes. Do I think he'll get all 4 games reduced? No. I could see anywhere from 1 to 3 games. Maybe he'll get a game off. But $2 million? Whew, can somebody donate that to our Sallie Mae College Fund?
I've been wishing for that for a long time. I'll take a small percentage. But you talked about this earlier. You talked about the way Tom Brady is viewed, the way he's looked at. American boy. He's got the brand. He wears Uggs, right? Beautiful wife with Giselle.
She bad.
No doubt about that. Does his brand take a hit here?
Not right away. I think once the appeal process, I think people are looking. I think people are watching, but I think because he has executed in such a great brand, and then, not to mention the fact that he came into the league behind Drew Bledsoe, and he grinded his way to the top. So it's this not just the American, like he's never worked a day in his life. I mean, he's great, and his work ethic is great, but I think it took a lot for him to build it. I think it's going to take a lot. I think people are still going to wave their hand. If you look at the Michael Vick situation, people just believed that it was Michael Vick because he carried himself so, in a way, lackadaisical, and he got comfortable. You never see Tom Brady really comfortable on the field. He's Tom Brady, and I think that with that being said, I think people have a little bit more patience. The American people can give Tom Brady the benefit of the doubt in a way that they're not going to give, say Michael Vick.
What about the sponsors? He's a sponsor for Uggs. He's a sponsor for Movado. These are the companies that are behind him. Do you think they stick with him through this process?
I do think so, because I think it still hasn't been proven. Like when the Ray Rice incident came out, you had video to prove it. Unless they come out with a text message, and he refused to give his phone up, unless they come up with some type of video, FaceTime, somebody was recording, I don't really see anything happening. I think it's going to take proof. We don't believe you. We need more people.
Another JP reference. Two for two here.
Yes, sir. I see. Until you have reasonable doubt, they're not gonna have anything to really get them on.
All right. So we talked about Tom Brady's brand, but what about the Patriots brand, or dare I say, to take it a step further for you, the brand of the NFL? There's been a lot of scandals in the last year with the NFL. This is another one, if you want to call it, with Deflategate. But talk to me. Start first with the Patriots, and do you think the NFL's brand takes it?
Can I start with the NFL first?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go to the NFL.
Thank you. Well, I think with the NFL, it's kind of business as usual. I think people say, oh, the NFL, they have another blunder. I think people have, in some ways, started to lack or disbelieve in the NFL's due process system and the ability to discipline and to factually call people on the scene of the crime of what they've done. I think it takes another hit of public opinion, but the NFL is not a niche market. It's America's game. So you have the hoopers that watch the NFL, you have the NASCAR people that watch the NFL, you have the baseball people, the hockey fans, everybody watches the NFL. That's Grand Central Station. That's where everybody meets, right? Okay. So for the Patriots, yes, I do think that the NFL, from a perception standpoint, people are going to still scoff oh, there goes the NFL again. From the Patriots' perspective, they're behind Tom Brady. That's the thing that you're really seeing. On Twitter today, I think they changed the background of their Twitter account. It has the number 12 in solidarity and support for Tom Brady. And so I would hope that in Tom Brady's case that they don't find any additional evidence or release something that we don't know, because you know that that TMZ is always on the case finding something. So I think that the team, the New England Patriots, will be behind him until proven otherwise.
I think you bring up some good points there, and you talked about the NFL and how it's the grand central of sports, and everybody comes here to meet and check out what's going on. It's clearly America's game. Numbers prove it. Ratings, the amount of numbers that the NFL is earning, the ticket prices all going up. With the path that the NFL has been going on, and I don't want to blame the NFL, but with players and scandals and all the stuff that's come out, is there something that can derail the money train that is the NFL? Is there anything that can stop this, or is the NFL, are they indefensible? You just can't be stopped. What's going on?
You talk about money train. We sending Wesley Snipes or Woody Harrelson to derail it. I think that at the end of the day, people are going to still spend money. I think that if you noticed, a lot of these cases that happen are usually during the off season. It gives people stuff to talk about. But when the big game happens, people are spending money. They're buying popcorn. They're buying frankfurters. They're having a good time. Do I think, oftentimes to go from when I talked about hoops, people stopped watching the NBA after Michael Jordan left, and then now you see people spending money again. I don't see a situation similar to that. Well, Tom Brady suspended for 4 games, we're going to stop watching. There was some exciting football last year. There will be exciting football this coming year. I mean, the NFL has diversified in the sense you've had drafted the first open league homosexual player, and Michael Sam playing or at least being on a practice squad in the NFL. You have diversity, and you have a huge amount of black quarterbacks that play. You have different. You just have a myriad of races. So I think the more and more the NFL continues to be diversified, the more and more you enter more niches that want to support that organization. So to answer your question, no, I think the NFL will still be business as usual. And at the end of the day, Roger Goodell still represents the owners. The owners make a lot of money under Roger Goodell. So as long as that happens, he's going to want to keep his job, and they're going to want him to keep his job. He works for the owners. Money talks, foolishness walks. That's it.
All about the dollar at the end of the day. So it comes. You think the Patriots You think the Patriots survive this with Tom Brady? Does it derail their season? Can they still win it all, even if he misses the first 4 games?
Who's their quarterback? Who's their backup quarterback? Doesn't matter.
There we go. It doesn't matter. So you're still confident once he comes back, they'll be okay?
I think they can, assuming that he appeals and it doesn't happen. I think that they can. I don't bet against the Patriots, the San Antonio Spurs of the NFL. You don't bet against them.
It's a good comparison. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the New England Patriots and this appeals process, whether Tom Brady will be able to reduce it. Brandon thinks it can get down anywhere from 1 to 3 games. He's hoping to get everything wiped out. His agent would like that too, but we'll see how that plays out. Brandon, I'd like to thank you for joining me here on the Sports Beat, man.
Yes, sir.
Always a pleasure to have you.
Likewise.
You can follow this man on Twitter @ScoopB. Great writer, like I said, writes for Vibe, bunch of other places. Please check out his work, the great Brandon Robinson. You can follow me on Twitter @DexSportsBeat. That's a wrap for this edition of the Sports Beat on BEN, the network where jobs come first. I'm Dexter Henry. Take care.